Right. So today we're going deep on something that I think a lot of you are going to find super relevant, especially if you're looking for ways to kind of boost efficiency in your business or even just in your own work in the whole world of automation.
Yeah.
You know, it's a hot topic these days, right?
Oh, for sure.
Everybody's talking about it.
It feels like it's everywhere you turn.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And we're going to be looking at this article by Abhinav Sabharwal, who's a senior RPA business process consultant.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got some really interesting insights.
Yeah.
He's suggesting that companies might be leaving a lot on the table when it comes to automation.
Interesting.
And specifically, he's talking about this idea of the long tail of automation.
Okay.
And how it can actually empower employees in ways that you might not expect.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be digging into today. So,
all right. Sounds good. I'm excited.
Yeah. So the article starts off, he's talking about the importance of automation. And he acknowledges that, it's become kind of essential in today's fast-paced business world.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, right?
Right.
That's why everybody is talking about it, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. And then he kind of throws in this curveball where he says, this traditional approach where you have like a specialized team, usually like a robotics operations center or an ROC.
Right.
And they're the ones who kind of identify the high-impact tasks to automate.
Right. The things that are really going to move the needle.
Yeah.
Make a big difference right away.
The low-hanging fruit.
The low-hanging fruit. Exactly.
But he's saying, is that really the whole story?
Right. Yeah. Is that are organizations truly maximizing their potential when they do that?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
That's what he's asking. And that's what leads him into this idea of the bottom-up approach.
Okay.
So what does that actually look like?
Yeah. How
does that differ from this kind of traditional top-down ROC-driven model?
Yeah. So it really is a completely different way of thinking about it. Instead of having this select group of people who are deciding what gets automated and how the bottom-up approach really puts the power in the hands of every single employee to identify and automate those smaller repetitive tasks that they're doing every single day in their own workflows.
I see.
Think about all the time that you spend copying data between systems or formatting reports, sending routine emails. All of that stuff is right for automation.
So we're not talking about like huge complex processes necessarily.
Right.
It's more about empowering people
to
kind of
streamline
their own individual workflows.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is, these tasks that seem kind of insignificant on their own actually represent a huge proportion of any organization's activity.
Interesting.
According to Sabharwal, it's about 40%. 40%. So that's it's like finding this gold mine that's hidden in plain sight.
So this long tail.
Yeah.
Why does it exist in the first place?
Well, I think it's because a lot of these tasks they're very specific to each person's role.
Okay.
They're too varied. They might even be too small to really catch the eye of a central automation team.
Interesting.
But when you add them all together, it makes a massive difference.
So if companies can tap into that knowledge of what people are actually doing day to day, it sounds like there's a whole world of automation opportunities that they might be missing out on.
Absolutely.
So what kind of impact do you think that can have?
Well, I mean, obviously there are the efficiency gains, which are significant, but Sabharwal goes deeper than that, in the why it matters section of the article. He really talks about how this approach can transform the way we work.
Okay.
First of all, it's incredibly scalable.
All right.
You're not just improving one department or one team.
Right.
You're potentially impacting the entire organization, creating this ripple effect of increased productivity.
So it's not just about the bottom line.
Right.
It's about empowering the employees.
It's about the people, right?
Yeah.
When employees are actively involved in improving their own processes, it leads to greater job satisfaction.
It makes sense.
They feel valued, their expertise is recognized, their voices are heard.
Right. They have some agency.
It's not just about doing the work. It's about having a stake in how it gets done.
I like that.
Yeah.
And it probably makes the organizations more agile, too.
Absolutely.
Because they can respond to changes faster.
Yeah, when individuals are empowered to identify and implement automations as they need them. Companies can adapt so much more quickly to new demands, to new challenges.
So it creates a much more dynamic and responsive work environment.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's really not just about saving time.
Right.
It's about creating a more engaged, dynamic, and responsive workforce.
Right. It's about empowering people to work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. Okay, so the article talks about some best practices for implementing this bottom-up approach.
Yeah.
What are some of the key things that companies need to consider?
Well, the first one is you've got to give people the right tools.
Right.
You can't expect people to embrace automation if they have to become, programmers overnight.
Right.
So that's where things like RPA tools, low-code, no-code platform, these are really key.
Yeah, those are great because
they let people automate tasks without needing a ton of technical skills.
Yeah, it's about democratizing access to automation.
Exactly.
So make it easy.
Make it accessible.
Yeah. But tools alone aren't enough.
Right.
Oh, yeah. No, of course not.
You need the right culture, too.
Yeah, you need the right environment. You need to foster a culture of collaboration.
Yeah, encourage communication and knowledge sharing between employees and, maybe any central automation teams that you have.
Right. Create an environment where people can learn from each other and share best practices.
So it's about building a community around automation.
It really is.
And then finally, you have to measure and optimize, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. You can't just implement these things and then forget about them.
Right.
You got to regularly assess the impact, what's working, what's not, what can be improved.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing process of refinement and improvement.
Okay, so it sounds like the takeaway here is
that the future of work isn't just about what we automate, but how we approach it.
It's about the mindset.
Yeah, it's about shifting from this top-down centralized model to a more distributed employee-driven approach.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, this has given me a lot to think about as we wrap up here.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you listening out there. Think about your own work.
Yeah.
What are some of those long-tail tasks that you could automate?
Those little things that steal your focus.
Yeah.
And keep you from the bigger picture.
Yeah, those small, repetitive tasks.
Exactly.
That just eat up your time.
What could you automate to free up your time and energy?
Yeah. And how could this
bottom-up approach transform not just your individual role, but the entire culture of your organization?
That's a great question.
It's something to think about.
Yeah. It's a powerful idea.
It is.
And one that has the potential to really redefine how we work.
Absolutely.
So that's our deep dive for today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
It was great to be here.
We'll catch you next time.
See ya.